State-of-the-art technology, innovative business strategies, behind the scenes, insights from cutting-edge users around the globe on 21st Century Business.
Welcome to 21st Century Business. I'm Jackie Bales. As our global environment continues to evolve, reducing energy consumption and our carbon footprint is increasingly important. Mike L. Ruff, Chief Operating Officer of Intellidyne, is here to discuss their solutions. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Jackie. I look forward to our conversation concerning energy and its impact on the environment.
Mike, what do you think the biggest environmental challenge we face today is?
Well, I think, Jackie, most experts would agree that the consumption of energy and the byproduct of that consumption, which is increasing greenhouse gases, global warming, is one of the most important issues that we face and will continue to face. In the recently published annual outlook on energy consumption, the prediction is that for the next 20 years, globally we'll still continue to see ever-increasing uses of energy.
Who then is Intellidyne, and how are you addressing these specific concerns?
Well, Intellidyne is one of a handful of companies that are innovating in the energy conservation industry. We design and manufacture a variety of energy conservation controls that address the problem of not only the energy consumption, but also the environmental impact of that consumption.
Okay. First, before we get to what you mean by controls, tell me about the name Intellidyne. Does that have any special meaning?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, it does. It's an acronym for intelligent and dynamic, which is what our controls do when they're installed properly.
Terrific. And speaking of those controls, let's take a look. You brought two.
I did.
One for air conditioning and one for heating, correct?
That's right.
Tell us what they are, what they do, where they go, and how they work.
Well, Jackie, they may look a little bit like a thermostat, but they're not. Okay. These controls get installed directly on the system, and they're not in the room or near the thermostat. They're electrically wired into the system, and the technology, the patented Intellidyne technology, actually monitors the system in real time and then uses that information gained from the system to change the way the system would normally cycle on and off, which is one of the inefficient parts of the way systems operate.
So when you say the system, say for a homeowner, you're talking about their heater or their air conditioner.
That's right. That's right. The air conditioning system, has certain characteristics that are unique to air conditioning. Most heating systems have different characteristics because of the nature of their job. So we have different controls for different types of application. It could be as simple as this residential control to a much more sophisticated, larger control that we make for commercial industrial applications.
Gotcha. Now you have these little green things that look like part of an erector set, really, but what do these do? Right.
Well, Jackie, these are one example of the type of sensor that we use to communicate with the microprocessor. The sensor is installed within the ductwork of the heating or cooling system, and it uses information about the air temperature and communicates that back to the control, which then takes that information and through our patented process changes the way the system normally would want to cycle on and off. So, for example, early in the morning your system would operate in one fashion, and later on in the day it would operate differently with this control. Normally it would operate pretty much the same all day long.
So basically it just makes it operate much more efficiently then.
Well, we like to say we're adding intelligence to a stupid system.
Okay. What would you say makes Intellidyne controls different then from other kinds of energy saving controls, like a setback thermostat, for instance?
Another great question. One of the issues with setback thermostats, and they're a great idea, but the whole philosophy behind the setback thermostat is to let the temperature in the space fluctuate up and down based on timing parameters, whether you're home or not home and so forth. And we've been told for, I don't know, as long as I can remember, that one way to save energy is just to raise up your thermostat or lower your thermostat a few degrees and suffer the uncomfortable part. What's unique about our controls is that we do what we do without changing the comfort level. So you can have your thermostat set at whatever temperature you want. We can still save you energy. And that's the unique part about our control.
Wow. So I wouldn't have to have it at 78 in the summer then?
No, no.
Okay.
And I don't believe you do either.
Well, how many different kinds of controls? You mentioned that these are only 2. How many different kinds of controls does Intellidyne make?
Well, we currently make 9 different controls designed for everything from the residential application to large industrial applications. So these 2 controls are examples of, this is a residential control for a furnace, this is an air conditioning control for a commercial air conditioning. We also have larger controls for commercial boiler applications and that type of thing. So different varieties.
And let's talk dollars. What are the typical cost savings experienced by using this kind of control?
Well, again, one of the unique aspects about this is that these controls, whether you're talking about the residential control or the large industrial control, are all designed and priced so that the end user will see their money returned to them in certainly less than 2 seasons, and in some cases just a matter of months, depending on the type of control. The prices will range from the residential to for a few $100s to a large commercial control, which could be several $1,000s.
And will installing an Intellidyne control void my manufacturer's warranty on my air conditioning or something like that?
No, because the control basically doesn't cause the system to do anything that it wouldn't normally do. So we're only changing and modifying the way it wants to do what it does.
Intelligently, okay.
Exactly.
And is it difficult to install an Intellidyne control?
It's not something that the normal homeowner, for example, would buy and install themselves. It's not what they call plug and play.
Right.
We recommend that it be installed by a professional that's knowledgeable about your air conditioning or your heating system. It doesn't take them a long time to install it, usually less than an hour, but it does need to be installed correctly. As you can see, there's a lot of different electrical wires
A
here.
lot of different colors there, absolutely.
Right.
So this is not really one of those go to the big box stores and plug it in yourself thing.
No.
Okay. What organizations or businesses can you tell us that use these Intellidyne products?
Well, there are a large number of different types of organizations, from local, state, and federal government agencies to homeowners, school systems, office buildings, healthcare facilities, hotels. I mean, you name it, almost every building has some sort of a air conditioning or heating system that can benefit from this type of technology.
Sure. Who doesn't want to save money and save energy at the same time? Bottom line. Now, does this control qualify for any of the new federal tax credits that are included in the Economic Recovery Act that Congress recently enacted?
Jackie, many homeowners and businesses will qualify for some of the tax credit, but it really will depend on where they're located, what their local tax codes are, and what their income bracket is. So many people will qualify, however.
Well, that's good news. Yeah. What does the future hold for your industry and for Intellidyne in particular?
Oh, that's a very good question. I wish I could predict exactly, but clearly it's evident with the recent legislation that has been passed, starting as long back as the Energy Investment and Security Act of 2007, which is very comprehensive and broad-reaching legislation that covers everything from, wind and solar power to alternate fuels to hybrid vehicles. But one of the key components of that legislation affects heating, air conditioning, and home appliances for that matter. So what you're going to see in the near term is an increasing emphasis by manufacturers and companies like Intellidyne to provide technology that will meet those standards. Just one example of a standard that goes into effect in September of 2012, every new boiler-based heating system manufactured in this country must have, as part of that boiler, an automatic device that modulates or changes the boiler water temperature. Our control does that today for boilers. So, and there are other things like that. There are minimum energy standards for air conditioning systems, et cetera. So in the near term, I think we're going to see a lot more activity, which is a good thing.
Sure.
It's going to spur a lot of innovative thinking, and companies like Intellidyne are positioned very well to be some of the leaders in that effort.
Mike, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today and explaining so much about these Intellidyne products. They are really fascinating.
Well, thank you, Jackie. It was a pleasure to be here, and hopefully you'll get one of these on your system.
Absolutely. And thank you, too, for watching. Until next time, for 21st Century Business, I'm Jackie Bales.